So, once again, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Everest Rodriguez, and it's a pleasure to have you once again for the International Two-Wheeling Summit. We are in our 4th edition today in this beautiful city of Pune. May I request everybody to please take a seat, and let me remind you once again to put your mobile phones onto the silent mode. Thank you. We would like to start off, ladies and gentlemen, with the traditional lighting of the lamp, or rather before that, we have the national anthem. May I request everybody to please stand for the national anthem.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you very much, gentlemen and ladies. We would now like to start off with the proceedings with the traditional lighting of the lamp. May I request Mr. D.K. Sharma, President TAGMA, to welcome, or rather escort, our chief guest, Mr. Sunil Kakkar, Executive Director, Supply Chain, Maruti Suzuki India Limited. Please get your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, as Mr. Sharma escorts Mr. Kakkar on stage. May I request Mr. Sharma to hand over a little bouquet, a token of our appreciation. Ladies and gentlemen, please get your hands together for Mr. Sunil Kakkar. We would now like to request Mr. Shanmuga Sundaram, Vice President TAGMA, to escort Mr. Saurabh Kumar, DGOF and Chairman, Ordnance Factory Board. Please get your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, as Mr. Kumar joins us on stage. Mr. Saurabh Kumar. May I now request Mr. Paresh Panchal, EC member, TAGMA, to escort Mrs. Laxman, General Manager of PCK Buderus. Please get your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, as Mrs. Laxmi joins us on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Laxman. And ladies and gentlemen, we would request our EC member TAGMA, Mr. Parveen Satija, to escort Mr. N. Regraj on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, a very special moment for us, which we will be coming to later. Mr. Raghuraj is the founder, president, TAGMA. Can we have a huge round of applause as Mr. Raghuraj joins us on stage? Thank you very much. And now, ladies and gentlemen, may I request the dignitaries on the dais to please join us for the lighting of the lamp. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, this is the 4th edition of the International Tooling Summit. Please get your hands together once again, ladies and gentlemen, as we start off with the International Tooling Summit 2019 out here at Pune. Allow me to introduce to you our chief guest, Mr. Sunil Kakkar, Executive Director, Supply Chain, Maruti Suzuki India Limited. He started his career with Maruti Suzuki India Limited in 1988 with Supply Chain Department and was taking care of source selection, supplier development, innovative cost reduction techniques, and JIT supplies. He was recently awarded Best Purchase Head PV Maker category by World Auto Forum. His domain expertise are in the fields of entire automotive supply chain, covering from engine to transmission, sheet metal to plastics and rubber, and from steering and suspension to electricals. He has been the pioneer for introduction of new technology products like the new AMT, that is the automated manual transmission, plastic fuel tanks, and high tensile technology in sheet metal through setting up joint ventures in India from Japan, Italy, and France. Currently, he is heading the supply chain vertical as Executive Director. But before I invite our chief guest, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to open this forum by inviting Mr. D.K. Sharma, President, TAGMA India, to deliver the welcome address. Please get your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, as Mr. Sharma delivers the welcome address.
Very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the entire team of TAGMA, I welcome Mr. Sunil Kakkar, Executive Director, Maruti Suzuki India Limited, Mr. Saurabh Kumar, sir, DGOF and Chairman, Ordnance Factory Board, Ms. Laxmi Laxman, General Manager, PCK Buderus, and all, Mr. Raghuraj, and all industry colleagues present over here. What a lovely morning here in Pune. Well, after conducting successful ITS sessions in Mumbai, Delhi, and Chennai, we have now come to Pune, and I'm glad to see the huge response over here. A big round of applause for all of you guys. From being a small university town, which Pune used to be known for, to having become a manufacturing hub, Pune has seen a major wave of change. Leading automobile manufacturers and ancillary component and part manufacturing companies have invested heavily to set up state-of-the-art production facilities in Pune. All these factors make Pune an ideal destination for tool rooms to flourish. And this has also led us to organize summit like ITS to enable growth of tooling industry. Once again, it is indeed a pleasure to see you and the entire ecosystem for tooling being represented here under one roof. At TAGMA, we had dreamt of starting an event that can assemble together all players of the fraternity and help them understand each other's requirements an event that can provide a global perspective. With this vision, we had started ITS in the year 2016. And it's now wonderful to see how ITS has evolved into becoming a platform for industry professionals to exchange ideas, share and learn from each other's expertise, understand global trends, and build acquaintances. In keeping with its name, ITS has also been attracting overseas visitors and speakers, making it truly international event. Thanks for all my guests from overseas. A very warm welcome again. I am happy to inform you that ITS has become one of the most important events for the global tooling fraternity. Let me now touch upon a brief about the trends in the tooling industry. The total tooling demand in the year financial year 17 was approximately $2,100 million, expected to reach about $2,700 million by 2020. That works out as CAGR of about 9%. But one interesting point, which is also an eye-opener for tool makers like us, is that countries with the highest vehicle production are also the ones leading in production of tooling. Unfortunately, India is an exception. We all know that the disruption in automotive is happening very, very fast. Automotive segment consumes 70% of the die and mold manufactured around the world. We are all aware that this industry is visiting disruption than ever before. Electric vehicles, weight reduction, and autonomous cars are taking shape faster than expected. Time to market for automotive OEMs has come down drastically. If I remember, from 18 months in the last decade to about 8 to 10 months now, which means we need to be more efficient to deliver tools faster with higher accuracy while keeping the costs low. We as tool suppliers need to be abreast with the changes. We need to align ourselves, our strategies, our adoption to new technologies, skill development in line with the changes happening in the automotive industry. Since our future is deeply connected to the automotive industry, hence the faster we act, the better for us. Otherwise, I get jitters that, there is something like Uri will happen when the surgical strikes by the managers of the OEMs will come and, pounce upon us for delaying or not making the tools right. So technology trends such as IoT, Industry 4.0, big data, artificial intelligence will be the key to our growth. We are living in an era where mere automation will not suffice. We need to embrace intelligent manufacturing, a production environment which is backed by data, driven by intelligent technologies that can help us in enhancing our productivity by predicting possible outcomes such as breakdowns, reduce wastage, and save time. Our technology adoption rate must be faster in future. We have experts present over here who will give sufficient insight into the subject over the next 2 days. During ITS, we have also sessions to deliberate on challenges and opportunities that we face today, among other topics. Panel discussions have been lined up to discuss how tooling suppliers and OEMs can collaborate better on hybrid manufacturing. We will also discuss the emerging sectors for tool makers and how the changing dynamics of automotive industry will impact the tooling industry. We have on board expert panelists to take these discussions forward. There are also several technical sessions to enlighten you with the current technology trends like smart manufacturing and tooling, 2K mold technology, latest design and manufacturing softwares, hydraulic solutions for injection and die casting molds, additive manufacturing, hot press forming, aluminum stamping, etc. So what is the role of TAGMA? At TAGMA, our role is to become the voice of Indian tooling suppliers and help them in skill development, provide business platforms such as ITS, guiding in the policy making, update them with the latest industrial trends from around the globe. As you are aware, apart from ITS, we also conduct die and mold exhibition. The last edition in 2018 was a mega hit, which saw about 30,000 visitors participating from all over the globe. In November 2018, we signed an MOU with the Canadian Association for Mold Makers for mutual cooperation in the field of trade, investment, technology between India and Canada. Should the participants present over here be interested in learning from Canadian die mold industry, please get in touch with Mr. Jonathan. He is around here in ITS, who is the chairman of CAM. So please meet him and know his perspective. In December 2018, TAGMA joined hands with Toyota Kirloskar Motors and organized the Tech Show in Bangalore. The Tooling Tech Show turned out to be a vital platform where 32 members of TAGMA showcased their capabilities, and we also discussed the mutual expectations with the OEM. This was the second in the series, the first one being held at Volkswagen in Pune here. Going forward, we are planning more such events with the other OEMs. Apart from the above, we are also setting up the TAGMA Center of Excellence and Training with the support of Department of Heavy Industries, Mr. Kumar. The core objective of TAGMA CET is to upgrade the existing tooling industry in Pune by setting up a common facility center for the tool, molds, and die industry. This center will also be used for training purposes. The world is looking at us, dear friends, with a lot of optimism to transact business with India. Localization is the buzzword in the automotive OEMs. FDIs in the manufacturing sector is getting better. Apart from the automotive segment, industries like railways, aerospace, plastics and packaging, consumer goods, defense, electronics, medical, home appliances are also on a growth path. I think this is the good time to be a tool maker in India. We must gear up to meet the challenges ahead and yet make the most of it from these opportunities and celebrate this occasion. Yes, we do have many challenges, but that's the path towards development, I feel. We must work together to tackle the challenges and embrace the opportunities. We must learn from each other's expertise and work as a nation to become a global tooling powerhouse. Automotive industry has shown great growth by ranking amongst the top 5 automotive producers in the world. The ball is in our court now, friends. We too must aim to position ourselves in the global top 5 die and mold producers in the world. As we know, a huge number of domestic tooling requirements are met through imports. We should augment our capacities and capabilities to become more efficient and set our visions on the global market while we serve the domestic opportunities. With this note, I once again welcome you all to the 4th edition of ITS. We have some great technical sessions, as I said earlier. I hope this event is going to be beneficial for all those who are present here. I thank all the sponsors who have come forward in helping us organize this meet. With their support, I don't think it would have been possible to conduct this show at such a scale. I would also like to congratulate every member of TAGMA and my colleagues from the Secretariat who have been working tirelessly for the past several months to ensure a great success of this event. I wish all of you a successful ITS 2019. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sharma. And ladies and gentlemen, this summit keeps on getting better. We've grown in strength, grown in numbers, and this year, ladies and gentlemen, we are indeed honored to have with us our chief guest for the day, or rather for the summit. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Executive Director, Supply Chain, Maruti Suzuki India Limited, Mr. Sunil Kakkar.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I think first of all, I would like to thank TAGMA for giving me the opportunity to address this gathering today here. I am privileged to be part of this international event. I think at the outset, I would like to thank tooling industry partners for their valuable contribution, because what we believe very strongly as a OEM, that it is all the partners who have to contribute so that final product and the customer gets what he wants. Today, if we see automobile industry, I think globally also this industry represents the symbol of growth, employment and prosperity. It is quite encouraging to see even in India, the automobile industry is contributing 7.5% of the country's GDP and 49% of the manufacturing GDP. Ladies and gentlemen, as the growth engine of the country, it is the responsibility of automobile industry to really play a bigger role if the entire country has to grow and the GDP has to further scale up. I think with this GDP growth, one more factor which is coming up is the rising income level, increase in the young population, and the government support in the infrastructure building. So with all this, we feel that automobile industry is definitely poised to grow further. So with these positive factors which are currently prevailing in India, I think this automotive mission plan for 2026, which also aims at propelling the automotive industry, and the fact that Make in India should be the real focus as far as future is concerned. I think very clearly it has been defined the target of 3-12-65, which means that India becomes third largest automobile maker globally, and automotive industry contributes 12% to the GDP, and to add 65 million jobs. So this is how 3, 12 and 65 is very clearly defined and really serves the purpose. The future looks quite promising and full of opportunity for growth. However, it cannot go without challenges. So the industry is quite ready to meet the current customers' expectations, which has been changing over a period of time. I think customer in the past and customer today, I would say, are totally different when we are facing them in the market. Changes which are coming because of regulations. I think India is almost becoming concurrent with the introduction of either Euro 6 or safety norms or those kind of regulations which are there. So mainly on crash regulations, ABS introduction, airbags. So all these things we are finding are taking up quite, catching up quite quickly in India also. Moreover, coming to the fuel efficiency norms, where CAFE norms are coming, the fact that a lot of changes are happening with respect to the fuel usage, whether it is going to be gasoline, diesel, conventional IC engines, or maybe hybrid engines are going to take over, or EV vehicles are going to penetrate. So today I would say is quite a, I would say it is more of a VUCA environment, where there is a lot of volatility, uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity. So I think this kind of environment really requires that all of us, we have to work together as partners. We have to work together to see that overall this industry becomes successful. I think in terms of introduction of technology, probably automobile was the one which was taking a little lower pace to change. But that is a history now. Now even the customers are expecting new products every time in the market. And we are having a very clear experience that unless we are making changes in the market in our products, we cannot sell cars. Gone are those days when we are introducing one model like Zen or any other model, and which is continue to sell for years. Those things are already gone. So we have much shorter product life cycles. Now we estimate that a vehicle which we are introducing, we have to bring in the full model change within a short span of maybe maximum 5 years. And within 5 years also, unless we bring one minor change, which means at least on the appearance front or fascia or some kind of appearance changes, again that model is not going to sell. So what is required is that a lot of changes have to be done within a specific model. And of course, any change which happens in the vehicle will definitely call for a tooling change or a new tooling which needs to be made. Also, we are finding that the customers are quite, have become quite demanding. As I was telling earlier, that the customer of past and today is totally different. In terms of their awareness, in terms of their expectations, it is completely different. Just to share the experience from the car industry, I think in the past we were more concerned that whether there are some functional defects or whether there are some defects in the car which can really bother a customer while driving or while the functionality is being done. But today, those things are already taken as granted, and fit finish, appearance, those issues, the kind of paint finish which we are giving, or the kind of dent marks, or the kind of surface finish of the skin panels. So those also have become extremely important. We have all the OEMs from world over who have already put their footprints in India. So competition is also quite intense, and we really need to see that as a tooling industry, how the quality of the parts which are being assembled in the car, they can be of the entire global standard. So that is, I think, one of the things which has really changed over a period of time. Also, I think going forward with the mission of Make in India by our Prime Minister, I think Maruti Suzuki have been also insisting a lot, talking a lot and focusing a lot on the localization. So that I think Mr. Sharma also mentioned about that. So localization is the key word for us these days. All of us are aware the kind of fluctuations which keep happening in the foreign currency, be it dollar, yen or euro or whatever. So those things have been increasing over a period of time. So the more we import, we become non-competitive. So our focus was that in terms of localization, we should have a strong Indian tooling base who can replace the requirements, and we can have all the orders met through Indian tool rooms. So in that, I would say last 2-3 years, I must appreciate here that we have got a big support from all of you in terms of as an Indian tooling industry, where I would just give you as a reference, probably in the earlier models, say 3 to 4 years back, we were having a local content, that means the number of tools by value, were almost at the level of less than 50%, around 45 or 48 around in different models. So with support from all of you, I think all stamping, all plastics, generic component toolings, that has been already localized. So thank you very much for your support, because with that our localization level today has really reached a reasonable level, which is close to 75%, which we really appreciate. Now that also brings us to a point that what is the balance 25% and when are we going to be totally independent and we can do everything by ourselves. So primarily what we have seen, that this area is the one where mostly it is proprietary parts, like for example lamps or other proprietary parts. So there again now we are wanting that this, through TAGMA, I think this industry should take next step and try to show that you can do whatever in India and at the same international standard in terms of quality, and definitely cheaper from abroad. So that is, I think, next thing which we would expect, that either through tier 1 collaborations, and we were just having a little chat before this meeting, where I told Maruti will be definitely supporting all these kind of initiatives, and in a collective form, if you can represent, we are fully there with you, because finally it is meeting the end objective and it is a win-win for all of us. So with that, I think we will be definitely requiring this kind of next step to be taken. In terms of our experience, I think we have got a mixed experience on the toolings which have been developed recently with all of you. I would like to highlight some of the concern areas which definitely needs to be, those gaps need to be bridged. I think in terms of simulation support, meeting accuracy targets, sometimes robustness in design, adhering to timelines. So these are some areas where probably we still need to catch up if we have to really come to global standard. And most importantly, as I was telling earlier, the Make in India can only be done if we have quality in India. Unless quality is there, Make in India may not be so successful. So we have to always watch that what kind of quality of tools which we are making and what kind of quality of products that tool can make. So that focus we have to continuously keep. And this is one of our expectations and requirement, that going forward in terms of timeline, cost competitiveness, quality standards, so all these things we have to really improve. As far as the overall growth is concerned, of course it is difficult to predict these days because it is quite uncertain environment with respect to penetration of EV or hybrid. But still what we feel within Maruti Suzuki and the way we have been consulting through Suzuki Japan also, that on estimation basis, probably by 2030, the overall passenger car market is expected to be 10 million per annum. So current level of 3.5 to 3.8 is going to almost reach 10 million. And for sure, Maruti, if we have to retain our market share, we have to definitely target around 5 million cars per annum. So 5 million cars per annum is not a small number by any means. even if we see other countries. So this is quite a substantial. The game is quite different. And also the kind of number of models which will be required to meet this kind of overall volume game will be huge. Meaning thereby that probably on multiple projects, you have to work simultaneously. And today the limitation that we can cater to maybe 1, 2 or 3 models, this will have to be further scaled up. So in terms of your overall management bandwidth, in terms of your skill sets, I think it is very important that we have to gear up so that when automobile industry and we are working towards the overall target of 10 million as an overall industry, I think we need to gear up from the capacity, from the competency and from the skill set point of view in the tooling industry also. In terms of skill development, I think which is one of the very key factors as far as this industry is concerned, we have been taking some initiatives and already in some courses we have started along with NTF also, and we have been introducing some courses in JIM, which is Japan India Institute located in Gujarat. So that is some initiatives which we are taking. But for sure, I think unless the skill set development on the job, those kind of things are done at your end, probably the skill set adequacy could be a challenge. So a lot of contribution is required from all of you on these kind of things, where on-the-job training for students and people who are currently, students who are currently learning, they really work at your place during the training time and become really productive as soon as they start the industry work. So I would request TAGMA leadership to take the steps in creating necessary ecosystems and infrastructure for skill development so that as a country, we create a skilled manpower pool for the tooling industry. In fact, some of our suppliers, major suppliers, they have clubbed together and they have in fact a little bit in terms of invested so that a common pool of skill can be developed. So that is also being encouraged by us. So I think in the end, I would like to specifically like to mention that Maruti generally focuses and has been engaging with suppliers deeply. But mainly our focus and engagement has been at a level of tier 1s, tier 2s. Tier 2 is the initiative which we started, who are giving us small components at tier 1 level. That we started 2 years ago. But somehow I feel probably with the tooling industry, more engagement is required so that we get little more deeply involved. And as a OEM, currently we are assessing the kind of business strength of each of our supplier. We have got a very clear-cut comprehensive excellence program where we evaluate all the business strength of a company. So up till now, this has been prevailing in the component industry, but I am sure if you people are interested, we can share that kind of evaluation and that kind of upgradation schemes with you, where on a comprehensive level, the evaluations can be done, upgradation can be done as a tooling business. So I think probably we need to engage more and try to see how we can have a win-win. So once again, I thank TAGMA and best of luck for the summit. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kakkar. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our next guest of honor, Mr. Peter Vetter, Head Quality Planning Tool Steels, Buderus. We have on behalf of Mr. Peter Vetter, Ms. Laxman, General Manager, PCK, Buderus, Pune Division. She will be presenting the statement on behalf of our next guest of honor. Please get your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, as Ms. Laxman joins us at the dais.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's indeed a great honor to address this wonderful gathering here today, and for this, I'm grateful to the organizers. I, Laxman from PCK Buderus, would now speak on behalf of Mr. Peter Vetter, who is currently ill and hospitalized and unable to make it to India. So, his thoughts. Current rapid changes that automotive industry is heralding is a new experience to all of us. We are talking of electric vehicles, lesser emission on internal combustion engine vehicles, high quality designs of automotives, and so on. Weight reduction has become the golden word in automotive. The onset of lightweighting is on for few years now, but has been speeding up due to tighter emission norms for IC and the competition from high-quality electric vehicles. According to McKinsey, 3 different lightweight packages that OEMs may consider in the future, depending on the vehicle segment and part training used. So the 3 packages are: the first one, conventional lightweight. Currently used normal steel is replaced by high-strength steel and has already implemented in cars of many premium manufacturers. The use of even lighter materials, especially like carbon fiber, but also aluminium, is prevented by cost considerations. The second one, the moderate lightweight. Currently used steel is replaced by aluminium, magnesium, mainly in the casting parts, or high-strength steel. Use of carbon fiber is only considered for selected parts that have to be extremely stiff or where weight reduction really pays off. For example, as in the roof. Extremely lightweight, which do not limit the use of any light material due to much higher costs. I assume only interesting for high-end cars. So we have already developed steels to meet the requirement of high-strength steel processing, for example, by hot stamping, which becomes today's standard in car body application. The polymer usage will see a great increase in the future, and polymers would be made stronger with additives. While glass fibers are known in the past, long glass fiber-induced polymers for injection molding and carbon fiber-induced polymer molding is also fast catching. Understand that carbon fiber direct injection is also done in some parts of the world. All this means we as tool steel suppliers have to be one step ahead to meet these extreme tooling requirements of the market and be ready with the proper tool steels, without which such revolutionary use of raw materials cannot be made successful. So we at Buderus have several research and development projects running in our group on these tailored concepts so that we are always market fit. Coming to the aesthetics, the molded parts are getting more and more complicated in design with surface quality of deep textures, sometimes dual gloss, plated areas, painted areas, all in a single part. Added to this, we have the weight reduction in polymers as well, with thin-walled design and molding involving high molding pressure. With repeated facelifts, the time span of the tool usage is also reduced to what we had a few decades ago. As tool steel suppliers, we have to ensure users are properly guided to ensure that a project doesn't miss deadlines due to wrong steel selections, which means that even in case of low estimated molding volumes, the quality of mold surface, for instance, regarding texturing and polishing are high and may need the use of high quality mold steels. So an important development one expects in the market is the turnaround time from design to serial production. Thanks to the advent of 3D printing, designers are able to make prototypes at the wink of an eye. So once approved, they want the model out for serial productions immediately, which means the tool maker would now not have the luxury of long lead times, nor can the steel suppliers. While 3D printing parts can be made to designer's choice, the possibility to make it into a serial part production with its complexities will now be the responsibility of you, the tool makers. We need to jointly develop ways and means to see how these complex situations are addressed. So the future will call for molds with ever-increasing demands on shortest possible cycle times, and for this, we as tool steel producers have to work to develop steels with higher thermal conductivity. With increased use of polymers and additives like carbon fibers in future will also raise a big question on recyclability. Unlike steel, which can be 100% recycled, the polymer and those additives could cause lots of difficulty in disposal as its share increases. This is one general challenge we can face together in the future. So these are some of Mr. Peter Fetter's thoughts on what we as tool steel supplier and everyone in the supply chain have to experience in the future. It looks like exciting times where we have to de-learn and relearn. Thanking you once again and all the very best.
We've got another very important item on the agenda today. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been indeed our honor to have another very distinguished personage up here on the stage with us. I would request the EC members to please join us on stage. Can we have the TAGMA EC members joining us on stage, please? So, ladies and gentlemen, as the members join us on stage, allow me to introduce the personage. Shri N. Reguraj, the current Managing Director of NTTF and EduTech India Private Limited, is associated with Nettur Technical Training Foundation for over 5 decades and is instrumental in grooming it into a reputed technical training institute in India with over 15 centers with approximately 10,000 students spread across the country. Mr. Reguraj is also the founder president of Tool and Gauge Manufacturers Association of India, that is TAGMA India, and is also the past president of Federation of Asian Die and Mold Manufacturers Association and CII Karnataka. He is also associated with various national bodies connected with upgradation of technical skills. Born on the 6th of August 1942, Mr. Reguraj is a mechanical engineering graduate from Guindi Engineering College, Chennai. He was selected for the Distinguished Alumnus Award in 2016 by his alma mater. He is also the recipient of President's Award for Outstanding Employer for Physically Challenged, Dronacharya Award for Vocational Education and Skill Development, and very recently, the Karnataka State Rajyotsava Award for 2018. In recognition of his overwhelming contribution for promoting the Indian tooling industry and the development of technical skills, Tool and Gauge Manufacturers Association bestows upon Shri Namasivayam Reguraj the Lifetime Achievement Award. Please get your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, as we have Mr. D.K. Sharma doing the honors. Ladies and gentlemen, TAGMA has grown, and how? But we started off small, and our founder president of TAGMA, Mr. N. Reguraj.
Good morning, friends. May I say good morning again? This TAGMA suddenly shows some surprise and make me feel even older. A toolmaker is always as young, because once you become a toolmaker, you don't move into any other area, you just stay as a toolmaker. Mr. Sunil Kakkar, and Mr. Saurabh Kumar, Laxmi, DK, my dear friend Anil here, and all the EC members and the tooling fraternity. I humbly accept whatever you have just witnessed, and it was not warranted. And with all humility, I'll accept whatever is being done this morning. It was indeed a surprise. But all that I can say is, that the need of the hour for the tolling fraternity is that you have to come together, that's important, and you have to collaborate, you have to cooperate and compete. Then Sunil Kakkar will be very, very happy to give you more and more. This other 25%, you will take it away. Earlier, there used to be a feeling, right, that tool makers, you many meet them and then they don't disappear for whatever reasons. But now I think the industry has matured, and I see the same faces again whenever I come to such conferences. That means I think this is a survival of the fittest, and they are all here in this hall today. Please, you can congratulate yourself for being here as successful tool and die makers. I can only, tool makers never speak, right? So I also would like to not talk too much. All that I want to share with TAGMA, I have also NTTF. Kannan is here and NTTF group. I am very happy to see NTTF here. NTTF has just signed an agreement with the Stratasys to develop a 3D printing in India. It will be a joint certification by NTTF and Stratasys. And I welcome all of you to send your people and get introduced to 3D printing. And all the very best to you, and thank you once again for whatever you have done to me this morning. Thank you. All the best. God bless.
Moving on, we would like to invite our next guest of honor, Mr. Saurabh Kumar, DGOF and Chairman, Ordnance Factory Board. Mr. Kumar is an IOFS officer of the 1982 batch. He's an MTech in mechanical engineering from the Indian Institute of Technology, Kanpur. An expert in the manufacture of ordnance, Mr. Kumar was on deputation to the Ministry of Defense at Delhi as the Director of Planning and Coordination from 2002 to 2009. He was instrumental in piloting the proposals and obtaining the approval of the government for setting up 2 new greenfield ordnance factories at Nalanda and Korwa in Bihar and Uttar Pradesh, respectively. Mr. Kumar, as the General Manager of the engine factory at Avadi from 2012 to 2013, was involved in operationalizing the project and initiating an indigenization program, which culminated in the handing over of fully indigenous engines of T-90 Bhishma and T-72 Ajaya tanks to the Honorable Raksha Mantri in July 2018. Mr. Kumar's tenure saw the establishment of the vendor base that led to this achievement. There was a dramatic increase in production of new engines by 30% during his tenure. Ladies and gentlemen, may I request Shri Saurabh Kumar to join us at the dais for the guest of honor address. Please get your hands together as Mr. Saurabh Kumar joins us at the dais.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. N. Raghuraj, the eldest among us to be on this dais. Mr. D.K. Sharma, Mr. Sunil Kakkar, Ms. Laxmi. I am very pleased to be here. But first of all, let me apologize for the interruption in the proceedings that I caused, because there were certain important issues where Secretary was giving me a call which could not be postponed. Well, I represent the Indian Ordnance Factories, the oldest manufacturing organization in the country. It produces virtually all the requirement of the arms and ammunition, armaments, armored vehicles, and even troop comfort equipment for the land forces. Our hallmark has been the indigenization and indigenous production. The basic theme of the ordnance factories had been that whatever we have got, either through the transfer of technology or through the DRDO or through in-house development, the ultimate aim has to be that it has to be produced in the country, because we all know the geopolitical situation prevailing along the borders, and the country has had very unfortunate experiences whenever there has been an emergency. Either the prices increase by 1 or 2 zeros, or they are simply not available. So there is no substitute to indigenization and self-reliance as far as ordnance factories go. Second feature has been that, you see, we are a group of 41 factories. 5 factories produce propellant and explosives, highly sensitive chemicals. But most of the factories are involved in basic mechanical engineering work and metallurgical production. And we have been historically pioneers in developing very, very niche technologies in the country, including first casting of high-speed steel. Initially, when the country became independent, there was very little infrastructure available in the country for backward integration, for basic industries. So we had to develop everything inside. The factories had tool rooms because our requirement used to be very, very specialized. Now with the maturing of Indian industry and growing emphasis on outsourcing, as well as the specialization that each and every branch of science and technology is achieving, it's not possible for us to do everything in-house. And tooling is one such thing. There's designing of fixtures and toolings, and latest in the even the tool technology, metal forming, sheet metal, dies, molds. We all know that these are the thing which increase the productivity in real sense. We have got the 6,500 ton aluminum extrusion press, is the biggest in the country. But we have always struggled to get good dies for them. And in fact, many of our industry partners, some of them who were in the extrusion business of aluminum, they have said that if you want good dies, go to Europe or Korea or even Taiwan. But you are not going to get them in India. And we have seen that in spite of having the capability of the press, that is the basic machine tool, because of the limitation in toolings, we are not able to produce those parts in the country. Similarly, there is a requirement of different type of extrusions, dies for extrusions. There is requirement for dies for hot forging, forging at 1300 degrees centigrade, the artillery shells, apart from the conventional tools and fixtures. And I understand some of you are there involved in the automation also. Specialized automation solutions that also we require. From the ordnance factories, I can say the requirement is not very large in numbers. Unlike you will say if you are dealing with the automobile industry, our requirement is very large in numbers, but it is very niche requirement. And it can be solved with high level of technical expertise. And that is what we are looking for, that specialized technical expertise. Requirement volumes may be modest only because the defense products, the type of most of the products, except for the small arms, nothing is produced in millions. It is mostly in 5 figures. So corresponding to the tooling requirement is also limited. But we require toolings for extrusions. We require tooling for forming. We require tooling for forgings. We require tooling for cold rollings. We required large number of fixturing solutions. Plastic molding, we are not there in a big way. There are very few places where we have that strength. But we will require from the industry the support to achieve those level of productivity and quality which is expected now. And I admit that we do not have that type of expertise in design of all sorts of toolings, because that is not our core area, and neither we are focusing on that now. Wherever we are going with the design, we are going ahead. But for the new solutions and the latest solutions, definitely we look forward to the industry. So I'll request you to visit the ordnance factories, the opportunities are there, and try to help us in achieving better productivity goals. Automation, Mr. Sharma mentioned that there are amongst you in the TAGMA people who are concerned with, who are doing work in the field of automation. We have got requirement of very specific automation solution in material handling, the handling of ammunition components, not assembly, but even assembly for explosives also, for the components with explosives. And that is the new area we are coming, and in one of the ordnance factory we have been able to identify 2 vendors in the country who have shown the courage to venture into that. This is again one area where there is a huge demand in automation segment, and the requirements, I will not say we are not going for very strict requirement now, considering the state of industry here, but which are, the demands are very modest technologically, and it should be well within the competence of the industry in India to achieve that, and we expect a good competition there. So I'll request you to please have a look at those areas also. There is a lot of emphasis on exports of defense products, and we are getting good inquiries for export, especially of ammunition. And there we will definitely like to improve our productivity levels, and automation improves the standardization also, so the quality levels also improve, the variation becomes less. So that is one area where I'll be requesting your support. I'm not sure how many of you have dealt with the ordnance factories in the past, but I can tell you that there are 2-3 major changes that have occurred, the major reforms I will say. One is that our purchase manual, the new manual which has been approved by the government, is far more industry friendly. Our vendor registration procedures was very cumbersome. That has been made much more user friendly now and fast. So these are the 2 things which which we feel, and we are, payments are sometimes irritant. Payments are made, but they're sometimes an irritant because it takes maybe 30-40 days or 50 days. 50 days is very rare, but normally 30 to 40 days. We are working on that also to reduce that payment cycle also, so that the cash flow problem the industry doesn't face. I will again request that, considering the vast array of manufacturing technologies that the ordnance factories employ, I'm sure most of you will have some areas to work. Sheet metals, as a very big center is ammunition factory, Kirki itself, and they are a big consumer of tools. In fact, they make their own tools and dies also. Whether there are possibilities of improvement, and whether the more productive solutions can be found out, we are always looking for them. So I request you to be on the lookout for the specialized solutions, and I'm sure we'll be having the booklet of TAGMA. So from our factories also we'll be circulating the requirements to the members who have at least advertised there, so that they can come and participate. And we are very keen and very eager to further improve our manufacturing infrastructure, and to fully utilize the machine tools or the capital investment that we have made, which is of very, very good quality. Most of the machines are imported and high productive machines, but it is not possible to import toolings on regular basis, and neither it is encouraged. So I'll be looking for support from TAGMA to our ordnance factories to provide them with the latest and innovative solutions. Thank you very much.
Very much, sir. And now we would like to say a big thank you to our guests on stage, and as a token of appreciation, we would request Mr. D.K. Sharma to hand over a memento to each of our guests. Ladies and gentlemen, please get your hands together for our chief guest, Mr. Sunil Kakkar, Executive Director, Supply Chain, Maruti Suzuki India Limited. Mr. Saurabh Kumar, DGOF and Chairman, Ordnance Factory Board. And Ms. Laxman, General Manager of PCK Buderus. Thank you. On that note, I would like to thank all our guests on stage. Thank you for joining us on stage, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you. Please get your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, once again.